Who can doubt tales told of age-old horrors, of cosmic ghouls that roam the earth in search of prey, of countless things that walk by night? Who indeed but unbelievers like Robert Warsham, a smirking, sarcastic ne'er-do-well, who ridiculed what he could not explain? Then he inherited the Warsham millions, and with it the family curse from which there was no escape, waiting to die by the fangs of the monster that lurked in the dismal swamps, waiting helplessly, fearfully, for the Werewolf of Warsham Manor. No, stay away, please! Ah! Our story opens 20 years ago in Maine at the shabby home of Robert Warsham, dissipated scion and last of the Warsham clan. He has just received a telegram from Essex, England. Well, so the old boy is dying. Now I'll be very rich. Ha, England, here I come. Assuming the air of a grieving nephew, Robert Warsham eagerly booked passage 2 days later, and 1 week later arrived at Warsham Manor, an imposing structure set in the dismal moors and foreboding swamps of Essex, England, a region of fog, twilight, and mystery. You've come! Yes, uncle. I was concerned about your health. This came as a shock. Stop it, you hypocritical ingrate. You've dreamt of this moment, and I won't cheat you. Take my money. Inherit everything. But beware, Robert. Beware of the Werewolf of Warsham Manor. Please, sir, you mustn't excite yourself. You'll live as I lived, mortally afraid. It will be waiting for you, Robert. Waiting out there under a full moon, as he does for me. No, don't leave me. He's quite balmy. Your uncle has always been somewhat eccentric, Mr. Warsham. Now I'm afraid he's much worse. He's failing fast. Robert Warsham went to bed that night thoroughly convinced of his uncle's insanity. But, what was that? It came from Uncle's room. Rushing to the north wing, Robert came upon a horrible sight. Good heavens, his throat has been slashed from ear to ear. But how? How?
Blimey, that werewolf did it. He said he would. We'll all be next.
Stop that nonsense. Look, something is moving in those bushes. A wolf. A huge white wolf. And there ain't any such animals in these parts. He was right, I tell you. I'm leaving. Good Lord, Mr. Warsham, it seems to be glaring at you. Bah. It's just coincidence, Doctor. The window must have been left open. The animal needed food. Uncle struggled. That's the only way it could have happened. We'll shoot it tomorrow. Now let's go back inside. But no trace could be found of the wolf the next day, nor in the weeks that followed. Things gradually quieted down at Warsham Manor, and Robert assumed control of the estate. And I leave my entire estate, material and spiritual, to my nephew, Robert Warsham. Signed, Silas Warsham, Esquire. Ha, Shay, it is really the life. Put 200 pounds on United Grain. And here's a bauble for your beauty, my dear. Soon afterwards, the irresponsible nephew squandered away his money on parties, foolish business, and gay escapades. And a scant year later, it was necessary for him to have more money. One night, in the library of Warsham Manor, let me see, where's that bank book of Uncle's? Hello, what is this? Why, it's a broken half of a necklace. And this dusty book is Uncle's diary. So the sly old dog had some secrets, eh? Wonder what it says. Vincent Warsham and Hugh Morrison were both scientists. Both were in love with my mother, who was then their assistant and unmarried. They had been working on a new chemical that would prolong life when the explosion occurred. Hugh, are you hurt? Those flying bits of glass have scratched you up. It's nothing. How is Lucille? I gave her a sedative to quiet her. Hugh, your hands, your face. I feel funny. My fingers are getting stiff. My back is curving. I can't stand up. Moaning with despair, Morrison dragged himself up to the sleeping girl. The chemical must have been on those bits of glass. You did this to me. You planned it this way, but I'll still have Lucille. Get away! You have broken her necklace. Conquering his revulsion, Vincent Warsham placed his hand on the shoulder of his friend to lead him gently away. But something horrible had occurred. Hugh Morrison was dead. In his place stood a terrible, gigantic, slavering beast. Great Scott! fighting for his life, Vincent in desperation plunged a surgical knife into the monster's chest. Ah! Your blood is cursed forever, Vincent Warsham. I shall come back for you at full moon when you are of the age I was before this change. At full... The rest is uneventful. The police disposed of the beast's carcass and listed Morrison as missing, refusing to believe the strange story that was told them. My father changed his profession after marrying Lucille, and Matt and I were born 7 years apart. One night when I was 10 years of age, "Dad, watch out!" We ran to help him, but he didn't have a chance. Father died at 45 years of age, the same age as Hugh Morrison.
It was a wolf, a big white wolf.
My sons, I must tell you something. Mother died soon afterwards. During the many years that followed, we all but forgot the Warsham curse. What with Matt married and several years later a widower, and I a businessman. Silas, look! After my boy, I'm off to America on business. We're getting old, Matt. Imagine young Robert being 23. Yes, many years had passed. I had become the executor of the Warsham estate, while Matt worked for an internationally known export firm. While he was in Africa, Bawana no go. It dangerous. Bosh, that forest should be beautiful hunting. So Matt, in his 45th year, stubborn to the end, walked unsuspectingly into the dark thicket. He had forgotten about the Werewolf of Warsham Manor. Ah! Ah! The authorities were pushed. I knew they would be. Robert in America for his education never forgave me for his father's death. He thought I was crazy when I told him about the Warsham curse. So soon I shall be 45, and the end will come for me. That is all there is. The old boy was loony, all right. Those deaths were only freak accidents. Huh, what nonsense. Nothing's going to happen to me. But he was soon to learn otherwise. One night, as he was coming home from a trip to London, this rotten engine would conk out just when I'm yards from the house. What's that? Brrr. It can't be. I must be dreaming. The wolf that killed Uncle, it's the same markings. Why, it's standing up. It's running towards me. Yeah! Screaming with terror, Robert Warsham ran for his life. Another moment and Uncle Silas was sane after all. That thing was no ordinary animal. It was evil, and I've fallen heir to it. Got to escape. I won't stay here and let it get me. I'll travel. Yes, that's what I'll do. Travel far away from that horror. So Robert Warsham began a series of journeys that were to last him 20 years. Still a rich man, he traveled through country after country. It's still after me. I saw it. Must leave. Tired. Can't keep this up. I'll go to America. And finally, back in his home in Maine, the tortured man took to his bed, sick in anguish. I'm no better off than Uncle Silas. People think I'm crazy. Why don't they believe me? Here's the diary and the necklace to prove my story. Have you once been harmed by this, werewolf? No, it's a figment of your imagination, brought on by those unfortunate deaths in your family. Why don't you celebrate your 45th birthday at my party tonight? You need the relaxation. Perhaps you're right, Dr. Teague. That night at the party. You see, Robert, it's 12 o'clock and nothing has happened to you after all. And for 20 years I've been running away from a delusion. Take this fiendish book, burn it. Don't ever let me see it again. What a fool I've been. But no more, I'm going to enjoy myself. Hey, where's the sherry wine? I want to make a toast. It's in the library, dear. But do hurry back. Cecil is going to tell you one of his darling stories again. And some minutes later, while in the library. Is that you, Dr. Teague? Help me carry this punch bowl inside. You! You are the last then. I will be at peace. I've done nothing to you. Stay away, please. No. Ah! Someone screamed. It came from the library. Warsham is dead. A wolf. A gigantic white wolf that is old. Incredibly old. And as the subdued guests gathered around the body of Robert Warsham, Dr. Teague still groped for a logical explanation. This must have been coincidence. Things like this just don't happen. There are no werewolves. Warsham was ill. He raved about his curse, showed me this fantastic diary, and part of a worthless trinket. But one more incident was needed to make our story complete. Look, there's something clenched in the beast's paws. Good Lord, it's the other half of the broken necklace. And as the horrified guests looked at each other, the howling wind of a full moonlit night crashed open the library windows and swirled eerily through the room.